scriptural reference comes from Janelle Monae and Jadena and Wonderland, Deep Cotton. And I use their title for my subtitle tonight. Hell you talking about? Hell you talking? Hell you talking about? Hell you talking about? Janelle says this song, Hell You Talking About, is a vessel. It carries the unbearable anguish of millions. She says we recorded it to challenge and to channel the pain, the fear, and trauma caused by the ongoing slaughter of our brothers and sisters. Janelle says we recorded this song to challenge the indifference, the disregard, and negligence of all who remain quiet about this issue. The people stood by silently, quiet. The greatest tragedy is not the strident clamor, not the unnerving noise of the bad people. The greatest tragedy is the appalling silence of the good people. The church folk remain quiet as black bodies lie rotting in the street. The church is silent as the Savior is slaughtered like a hog hung on a tree on Calvary. The church is silent as black women and men are murdered by the popo and mowed down by Pookie. Janelle Monae says, silence is our enemy. Sound is our weapon. Hell you talking about? The church was silent about crucifixion in our text. The people stood by watching. And the church is still silent about the crucifixions in our time. It has been 4 years since Rakia Boyd was murdered. The policeman who murdered her is still on the job, still carrying a gun, still has a license to kill with impunity, and the church is more concerned about which preacher can shout you than which policeman who shoots you. The church was silent about violence then, and the church is silent about violence now. Hell you talking about? The church is silent about the racist policies of the United States government. The church is silent about the crooked mayor calling colored clergy in to warn them to keep their congregants quiet when the truth comes out about how long the officials knew about the murder of Laquan McDonald, including the mayor, and the people stood by watching. The silence is appalling. Hell you talking about? You want to know why millennials are not in the church and why they're on North Michigan Avenue? Because the church is silent. The church is silent about the state of Israel's illegal occupation of Palestine. And the church is silent about the shaft, the powers that be are giving to the poor black and brown children who receive public education. The church is not only silent about the 61 public schools that were targeted by Mayor Emanuel's administration, the church is also appallingly silent about a Secretary of Education who has no college or graduate school degrees in education. The people, good people, stood by silently, just watching. Hell you talking about? Speak up. The HBCUs have been hit hard by an Obama administration that has nobody in the cabinet who's been anywhere near an HBCU. And the church is silent. We don't want to say nothing critical about the black president. Come on now. Even when something needs to be said. Ecclesiastes 3:7 says there's a time to be silent and a time to speak. Speak up. The church is silent about a racist megalomaniac running for the presidency. A megalomaniac who's sweeping Republican primary after Republican primary because he is saying publicly what millions of white Republicans and 100 black preachers are thinking, feeling, and been saying privately, not since 2008, but since the South lost the Civil War. And some would say, since the Europeans stole this country from the real Native Americans, not the European immigrants who call themselves the folk who want to take our country back and make America great again. Yeah, great. The great land thieves, the great body stealers, the great slave traders, the great slave holders, the greatest hypocrites, the greatest liars, and the greatest racists on the face of the planet. And in the face of an on-rushing locomotive, with the emphasis in that word on L-O-C-O, loco. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, loco. Like a deer trapped in the headlights of an 18-wheeler, the church is appallingly silent. Janelle says, silence is our enemy. Sound is our weapon. Speak up. Hell you talking about? The misogyny coming out of the mouth of that megalomaniac millionaire is matched only by the racism that seeps out of the slimy pores that he has dredged up from the swamps of trailer trash. Politicians who pander to the fears of white folk have a special place reserved in the deepest pits of hell. And the church, the good people, need to break their silence and say something. In the war against evil, silence is the enemy's strongest ally. Hell you talking about? Janelle Monae says, silence is our enemy. I travel over 100,000 miles a year preaching, teaching, listening, and learning. And in over 50 different airports in this nation, I've seen a sign posted by the Department of Homeland Security. My time is up. But what the sign says is what I want to leave with you on this Good Friday. The sign says, if you see something, say something. Hell you talking about? If you see what violence is doing to our community, if you see what violence is doing in our community, speak up, break the silence, say something. If you see what our government policies are doing in this city, in this state, do you know that in the state of Illinois, the Jewish Zionist State of Israel lobby, the same folk that met last week in AIPAC, has tricked the state legislature into passing a law that anybody, any business that engages in boycott, divestment, or sanction, the same thing we did to end apartheid in South Africa, that business is going to be punished. And the folk in Springfield didn't even know what they were voting on. If you see what our government is doing in this country with voter suppression and Obama obstruction, I came up with a new hashtag when he named that man for the Supreme Court. Hashtag WDNN. That's the Republican hashtag. Whosoever the nigga nominate, we gonna block. If you see what the government is doing, if you see what it's doing in public policy, in foreign policy, $3.5 billion given to Israel for military. We got money for military and money for war and no money for education. If you see what the government policies are doing, speak up, break the silence, say something. Hell you talking about? You are the church. Don't be in the crowd that just stands by watching. If you see something, say something. And we learned 2 years ago at the Proctor Conference, once you see something, you can't unsee what you've seen. Hell you talking about? Say it loud. My mama